Since Robocop was effectively a man in a suit, ED-209 could not be in any way a man in a suit. So that's one of the reasons we chose to offset the hips or do things that would be clearly impossible for a person to fit in that. That's why his hips are so far apart. It's one of the reasons that there's rails. The joints don't have a standard, knee joint. They've actually got a linear rail kind of a system that's, again, one step further away from a person in a suit.
I felt that they knew so much more about it, and they came with the proposals. Then when they came with proposals, I could easily say, okay, but then do this, If we do it this way, then let's make this strange thing they had built, which is a gray area. Let's make that the eyes, the whole eyes. These are the eyes. There's hundreds of eyes. Basically, whatever it is, they can see through that, not by a little camera on the top of his head,
For the inspiration for ED-209, we drew upon kind of a number of different areas, tried to try something in the natural world. So killer whales were something that had a pretty menacing kind of a countenance. Everything's kind of an excuse, there's a big air intake and it looks a lot like a mouth. And there's this big dome that you can't really see where the eyes are. The idea there was that this would be maybe like an anti-laser surface.
The full-scale ED-209 was a design that Craig had come up with, working with Paul Verhoeven and myself, and trying to get something that Paul was happy with as a character, a nemesis for Robocop.
The crew that we were building at this time, Pete Ronzani, Neil Breitbart, and Paula Lucchesi, my girlfriend at the time, we pretty much built that thing together. And it was hell, but it was one of those experiences you come through, and at the end of the day, it's something we always remember. Later on, we became married, and so I guess it didn't really split us apart. All the forms were built up out of wood. We used a lot of plywood, masonite, and just fur, and actually kind of built up patterns and stuff bit by bit. We used a lot of plastic forming techniques and fiberglass techniques. And seeing how it was basically the middle of summer in San Rafael, we were pretty much in hell, up to our ears in fiberglass, and wearing these suits, because you have to wear these protective suits and respirators and everything else while it's just blistering hot. It's a pretty tough portion there. One of the keys with movie props is they've got to be pretty flexible. You have to be able to put this thing together and take it apart in relatively short order. And actually, that's one of the things I'm pretty proud about, was the model was held together with bungee cords, snaps, and different techniques. So basically, two people could take the thing apart. We were pretty much left alone. In fact, for the full-scale prop, I don't think Paul saw it at all until it was delivered, in Dallas. That was pretty cool. I felt pretty trusted. Phil Tippett would check in on us on a periodic basis, come over and see what we're doing, and just kind of roll his eyes at the mess we were making and stuff. Our hearts were in it so much that compensation even wasn't necessarily important. Just contributing to this whole kind of process was really the motivation. The full-scale prop was essentially just that, a prop. It was capable of being posed.